So far, we have learned a lot about Virsliga, but I think now it's time to focus on one of the most and fastest growing segments in the world right now, and it's women's football. Sounds interesting, yeah?
Yeah, you heard right.
Yeah. Currently, I have some information. Currently, records in women's football attendance and sponsorships are literally being replaced in various parts of the world, including Spain, where more recently 90,000 fans attended the women's El Clasico game on March 30. However, women's rights, their role and equality are increasingly becoming a hot topic at these events. Nevertheless, the representatives of LaLiga Women will be able to tell you the most and best about it. Thus, we are welcoming the leader of LaLiga Women's football segment, Pedro Sanchis, with massive applauses, please.
Applauses, please.
Kudos. Estamos muy contentos de verte.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried. And ¿qué tal estás? Right? You understand what we're talking about? We're just trying, you know, just at least we are very happy to see you on this stage, and we're happy, and we can't wait for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Well, it's yours.
Hello. I'll take my presentation. So honored to be here. Very happy to be here with all of you. Thank you very much, Virsliga, Maxims, and the rest of the team for organizing such a great event. We were talking on the lunch before, and I can tell you, I mean, top event, the quality, everything. So congratulations, because I think this will be a big milestone. And please keep on organizing such an event, because it will be very important. And thank you for including women's football. Me as a passionate about women's football, more than 20 years involved, it's great. It's great that people believe in women's football, want to share women's football, want to give us this place on women's football. So yeah, thank you, and thank you the rest of the audience. I don't know if yeah, it's ready. So some objectives for today. The first of all, hopefully to change the mindset. We're talking about, we will have like half an hour talking about women's football. Hopefully, my objective is to change mindset of many people, to show you how big women's football is, that in my opinion has passed from just girls playing football to a big opportunity, to a big asset, to a big product, and share with you some of the best practices, some of the best examples that are occurring throughout the world. Share also what we did in Spain, in La Liga. We are not the organizers of the competitions, but back in 2015, as I will show you afterwards, we started a project together with our clubs in order to changing the landscape of women's football in Spain. So yeah, hopefully inspiring. I was talking to the clubs yesterday, talking to Maxims and the team. I think Latvian football has a great opportunity to succeed. Latvian women's football needs to get on the same path, and just to understand this situation. Okay. Just as a brief introduction for all of you, very briefly, you to understand the level of competitions that we have in Spain. These are the national competitions in Spain from next year onwards. You will see a big point, a big milestone next year will be, you will read it, professional league. What does it mean? You will understand the work that has been done with the clubs throughout this last years, but this summer, so next season, it will be the first time that the competition in Spain, First Division, has been granted the status of professionalism, which means there will be a standalone organization integrated by the club, the same as Virsliga, the same as La Liga, the same as Premier League, organizing its own competition, which is a big step forward. So you can see 4 competitions, national level, First Division professional with 16 teams, and below 3 more competitions at the national basis organized by the federation. Okay? Apart from this, you can find the regional competitions and the grassroots competitions. So a big environment surrounding women's football. You will see some crests, some teams that are familiar to you. These are in First Division. You can see top La Liga clubs being in women's football. With this, it's a first message for all the clubs. You can see, and afterwards I will share with you some figures, the number of clubs of LaLiga clubs investing in women's football, believing in women's football, has been increasing top. So you can see this year, 13 out of the 16 clubs are LaLiga clubs. So, just before getting into our project, Women's Football Project in La Liga, just some points about women in La Liga, not women's football. Women in La Liga is part of the DNA. Gender equality is part of our DNA. And I can start with one point. Our president has been many times asked why he has a man leading women's football department. And he's answering that it's about talent. It's about finding the right people on the right place. The same as we have a woman leading our legal department, which is one of the most active and one of the most important departments. Normally, society might think, no, legal department might be led by a man, strong man, and he is fighting. No, our president believes we have a woman leading, a super woman leading the legal department, the same as he believes he chose me to lead the women's football department. It's not about gender, it's about talent. It's very important. Some figures that demonstrate the importance of women in La Liga. More than 30% of the board of directors are women. And once again, leading legal department, leading the foundation, leading the activation department. So very strategic areas. More responsibility roles, and more than 30% of the total employees of La Liga are women. Moreover, our commitment for women is not only towards our employees, but also, first of all, why I'm here, Women's Football Department, a dedicated department only for women's football strategies. Secondly, also supporting and creating role models. We have an ambassadors program, which was born only with male ex-players, but we decided it should be integrated also by players, by female players. And actually, we have 3 female players that are representing La Liga values throughout the world. And for example, 2 weeks ago, one of our female ambassadors was in Nigeria, helping to promote women's football in there and helping to promote La Liga's brand. So we also absolutely respect the female players and include them with our top male players. And also pushing other sports, other athletes, like Carolina Marina. I don't know if you know her, but she's the best player in badminton in the world. And we are supporting, we are sponsoring her. We are supporting many, many other athletes that deserve that La Liga is one of the leading organizations in the world, also supports the role of women. So this is an introduction. How this project started. Back in 2015, I can absolutely say women's football in Spain was dying. And this is the first message here. I'm talking about 2015, not back in 1980s. 2015 in Spain, we had no TV coverage, no visibility, no commercial strategy, no sponsors, nothing. Nothing, no one knew. It was just, okay, some clubs had something, the people knew that there were girls playing football, but there was nothing, there was no growth. You will see afterwards how it has grown. So the first message is, there is a possibility of growing. In Spain, that you might think is one of the leading countries actually. Spain had a problem some years ago. It's about starting to work. So there was a disbalance between the environment, as I mentioned, with a federation, the former federation, that did not believe in women's football and did not pay attention, did not invest in women's football. But on the other hand, we found some clubs, many clubs, that were really believing on women's football, that were really doing strong efforts to support women's football and to make things happen. But of course, this disbalance didn't help. What happened? That those clubs joined together and went to Javier Tebas, to La Liga, and asked for help. Not to organize the competition, but to help to develop a strategy in order to grow, to know how to get sponsors, to increase visibility, to get a good TV product, to at least create a product. It was all about that. And Javier said, yes, we need to jump in. We will jump in. We will create a dedicated women's football department in order to develop a strategy together with the clubs. Remember, we are a clubs organization. I'm a club guy. We believe that clubs are in the middle of everything. They should be leading. And with the right leadership, and this is why LaLiga was there, we started the project. We started with 19 clubs of LaLiga having women's football in that moment, and you can see some interesting figures over there. The growth, the percentage of the teams that actually have women's football, it's near to 80% of LaLiga clubs. You can see in first division, only 3 clubs do not have women's football, which shows interest is growing. They are interested in doing things with women's football, and LaLiga has been there, and our department is also supporting those clubs that do not have women's football to understand how to start with the project, how to deal with the project, and how to improve the project. Our project, our strategy, we can resume it in 4 pillars. Push and dynamize, which is at least professionalize. At the end, it's professionalize the environment. The second point was increasing visibility. The third point was adding value to the competition, creating value. And the fourth, this is why we're here, for example, is international relations, and spreading and establishing those international licenses. I will show you some examples on that. On the first side, LaLiga did not just said, we will help, we will develop a strategy, but we understood that there was a need for investment. Nothing grows without investment, the same as nothing grows without strategy. So, LaLiga decided from season 16-17 onwards, during 5 seasons, to invest 1.6 million euros directly funding our clubs through the Clubs Association. There was a Women's Football Clubs Association, funding the clubs directly in order to invest, not spend, invest in some points that I will share afterwards with you. So, 2 big areas of investment towards our main objective, that was professionalization. First of all, empowering the management structures of the clubs. We decided, we analyzed our clubs, and we believed and we realized that there was a lack of people dedicated to the women's football project. And we said, okay, we give you money, and you need to hire at least 4 people in 4 minimum areas that we understand are necessary in order to establish this professional path. First of all, 1 guy leading the management side, ending with this historical thing that I myself did of the coach or the president buying the balls, buying the bibs, putting the tweets, and doing absolutely everything, getting the sponsors, everything. No, we need dedicated people to that. Getting someone on the commercial side, dedicated to women's football. Getting someone on the digital side and the communication side, dedicated to the women's football project. And someone on the finance side. This was mainly focused on the clubs that were not linked to men's structures, in order to help them understand how to build a proper budget, how to establish a cash flow, and how to construct a proper financial model. So, the second big pillar, or the second big focus, was promotion and awareness. What we analyzed is, okay, LaLiga, and I will share it with you, LaLiga can help increasing visibility. We'll put a lot of efforts, but we had more than 70 clubs spread out the whole country that they have the direct link to its community. So we said, we need you to make a day-by-day strategy in order to promote your project, in order to make people understand that there is something called women's football and that you have a women's football team. So we gave them money in order to develop a strategy, a promotional strategy. And look at the figures. 5 years after, this is the global landscape of all the promotional activities that the club did, including visiting hospitals, getting agreements with grassroots academies, visiting schools, CSR activities. On the digital side, lots of promotions, like trials, like interviews with the players, with the fans, whatever. It was about making noise every single month of the year. It was very important in our strategy. Another important point was education. And throughout this 4 or 5 years, we've established like courses throughout for our executives in the clubs, leading by example, explaining them in terms of legal, of finance, sharing with them knowledge, using our LaLiga Business School Academy, using best practices of our clubs. So it was about having every year a better and better executives leading our projects. So education is very important also for the project. This is not only for executives, but we are very proud of one program we started this year together with Visa. Visa has an education program for the players, and for ex-players that is intended to help them to understand what is behind the pitch, what they can do when they retire. And we made an alliance, LaLiga and Visa together, and for the ever first time, the program was launched in Spain with more than 20 players joining. And in there, throughout 6 months, we've been talking with the players and having education sessions with them in order to show them all the possibilities that are behind. This is also one responsibility and part of our project, to create and to benefit from those players that are so linked to your club's values that they can jump into the football industry, because we need more women to get in the football industry. So, in terms of value, in terms of product, what LaLiga did is providing women's football with some of the technology of the broadcasting technology that we apply to men's football in order to increase the value of the product. Of course, it was not in all the matches, but some of the matches that were played in the big stadium, you can find some of the examples using the Skycam, for example, for the ever first time in a club's match in the world, or using for the replays some of our technology. So it was like enhancing, like adding an extra value to the broadcasting. It was very important for us caring for the broadcasting. Why? Because we wanted to share and to show the people that this has a quality. It's no longer just girls playing football in the worst facility. No, we can develop a good product. Another point in terms of visibility was using LaLiga's windows, LaLiga's channels, in order to promote women's football. How? 3 ways, including women's football in our website, one of the top and most visited websites in Spain, and including caring for the product. You will, if you go inside, you will find the same information with the same quality, with the same design, with the same treatment, because it was very important not just to put it anywhere. No, women's football is in the front page, and you can find all the information you wish regarding women's football. The second point was using our social networks. We had an average of 7 posts per week in Twitter, in Instagram, in Facebook, the same place where the men's were, we had information about the women. Why not benefit? Why not use all this mass, all these fans that LaLiga has, in order to show them that there is something called women's football? Now you know more. And the third point, in Maxim's, we have an app, official app of LaLiga. So we decided to include women's football in there. So I don't know if you have the app, but Maxim's, no one can go out without downloading it. Okay? That was a joke. But you can see a live score even. We invested in a live score, so during the weekend, you can follow the matches of the first division women live. You can see the scores, you can see the yellow card, red card, whatever. So this is helping that now anyone can say that they don't know where to find information on women's football. It can be like small steps. Yeah, small steps, but we believe small steps take you to the final end. So small steps in LaLiga is helping towards visibility increase. And on the other hand, campaigns, promotional campaigns. We have a very good in-house production team that has been working every single year on creating one campaign, one big campaign, spreading the values of women's football, sharing with the people that they are no longer just girls playing football, they are professional athletes. And I will share with you now one of the campaigns that we launched on the digital side that was named I Play Football. We decided to create 16 stories, one per club, in order to share the personal side of some players. And I will show you now the teaser that we developed. I don't know if the sound is working. At least we have this. No, sound is not working. Maybe can you contact with someone on the technical side? Let me stop it because it's better with sound. I don't know if we can. Well, I keep on, and then afterwards, if we have time, I will share it with you. Is the sound working? Is there any problem with the sound? Okay, no answer, I go on. More things on the promotional side, including women's football in all of our events, sharing it with LaLiga men's sponsors. They are willing, year by year, include women's football in there. You can see some of the activations that we did, and we are all calling our clubs to please send me players, because they will be in the activation with some of our partners. More things on the international side. Here you can find all the things that we are establishing. We have, in my department, we have a dedicated person only for international promotion, for international relationship. We have a lot of alliances together with several clubs. We have a strong alliance, for example, with the Swedish Women's Football League, with the Nigerian Women's Football League, with the Mexican Women's Football League, with the Japanese Women's Football League. We are working together in promotion, in knowledge exchange, in education courses. So some of the points in which we are working together with other leagues, because we believe the stronger the foreign links are, and the stronger that the competitions are, the stronger our competition will be. Because women's football needs now to grow globally, and then we will focus on locally. And just to end, what I want to share with you is what is happening around the world. Why is there a value on women's football? And just to inspire you that something is happening outside, something is happening, and just to look at how many companies, how many brands are investing in women's football. And my thought is, we need to be aware of what is happening outside, and these green sleeves that we need to take into account. First of all, on the media side, now it's usual that you can see the big newspapers on the front page. And here you can see some examples of L'Equipe, of Marca and As, that are the two biggest sports newspaper in Spain. It's turning usual. And one point, remember, media, newspapers, are companies. They're selling something. And it depends on the ones buying the newspapers about the content. So if they put it on the front page, it's because the people are interested on that. It's very important to work, to be proactive, not to ask them to put me on the front page. No, let's deserve to be in the front page. Let's create something valuable that the people want to buy in the newspaper. So one first message is the importance on the media side. Another thing that is happening in Spain is the big stadiums. So big stadiums, here you find some examples. Big stadiums are starting to be open for women's football and filling the big stadium. Before, you thought you heard some of the figures. I will share with you some interesting figures in Spain. It's not about one match. It's not about two matches. It's about a bundle of matches that throughout this last year, with the right strategy, with the right promotion, and choosing the right matches, you can make a great promotional event, a great family event, a great family experience. And we can see the average of attendances that should make us think that something is interesting around that. Are we prepared to fill the stadiums every single week? Not yet. But let's see 5 years ago where we were playing. Let's see what we are playing now. Let's see in 10 years. It's the same message in here. Never mind that you might think that now Latvian women's football is undeveloped. No problem. The thing is just to start working on that. Let's see where you are in 5 years, or in 10 years. I can tell you where we were back in 2015. 2015, only 7 years. And look, the things that have been achieved. So there is a potential. Another concept that I wanted to share with you is the concept of two first teams. The clubs, at least in Spain, and you can see Manchester City, we can see Arsenal, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, they understand that they have another asset now with the women's team. They don't have just the men's first team, but they have the women's first team. And it's an opportunity to be a bigger team. I put the example of Barcelona. Barcelona is now not experiencing the best performance in the men's team. It's like a pause. But they were so successful with the women's team. And at the end, the brand, the crest that is successful is the same, it's Barcelona. So it's a big message for the clubs. Start to understand that women's football is an asset, and it's another first team that you need to treat. Of course, let's focus on the men's team. That is the revenue generator, is our leading. But let's do not forget women's football teams. We can see some of the examples of how the clubs are understanding that they can use the power of female athletes in order to increase the brand value of the clubs. Another example in the official shops, also including women's football. Some interesting points. It's in English in there. When Manchester United bought 2 American players, they sold more T-shirts in the first week than any other men's player. So something is happening around that. I'm not saying that this will be the whole year through, but there is some interest on the fans on that. The same with Barcelona. Alexia, on the day when they faced Real Madrid in Camp Nou, Alexia sold more shirts than any other male player. Green sleeves. So, just to end, some examples on things that are happening in there. I found this campaign absolutely brilliant. This was for the last Euros in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, the Dutch FA decided to change the crest of the national team, which is something very traditional. They said, let's turn from lion to lioness, and let's make a promotional campaign on that. I think it's brilliant. And this is also a message. Women's football is a great place in order to innovate and to create and to be more flexible and to do new things and fresh things that the people are demanding. Another point that we understood, it was back in 2015 when EA decided to include the women's teams, the women's national teams within the game. Great. It was a game changer, absolutely. Now, a next step will be including the national leagues in there. Great point. Another example that I wanted to share with you, Budweiser is the sponsor of the American League, of the US League, and they decided to do something very strange, very innovative. They were the only sponsor of the league that said, we need more sponsors. And my campaign will be calling for other sponsors to join. So imagine a sponsor normally wants to be exclusive, the exclusive sponsor, so all the information and all the views are for that. They decided to create a campaign to get the official deodorant, the official timekeeper, whatever. I think it was brilliant also. Google, for example, this is very popular. This game is very popular in Spain. They decided to change it Mastercard, change the male figures for female figures. So something has changed also. The big companies are starting to understand it. Nike, I think you remember this advertisement some 2-3 years ago. It was a little girl, like the dream of a little girl that was dreaming of becoming a referee, becoming a coach. It was a very nice point on that. So, I wanted just to keep some of these concepts, some of these key concepts. First of all, start to think on women's football as an asset. It's an asset. It's not just, I have some girls playing in the corner and that's it. It's an asset. And there is a potential of becoming an asset. So work for it. The second point is investment and strategy, both of it. Not just investment, not just strategy, both of it. The third point, start thinking around women's football with the concept of brand, value, and product. Work on this side. I remember, it's not just girls playing football. It's a product. It will increase your brand value, so work on it. The concept that we talked about, two first team, and the final concept that is very important, it's the opportunity that you have. In Latvia, please, don't miss the opportunity. All the stakeholders just go together. You have a men's organization that should not be integrated, that has no responsibility on that, but is willing to help, is willing to push it. You have clubs that believe on it. Just please do it. Just don't miss the opportunity. You have a great opportunity in here. Just take a look at what Sweden did. Sweden has a great organization. You can do the same. And it's not about complaining about we are undeveloped. It's about the potential that you can reach. And I always like to end with these 3 images that for me is women's football. A rough diamond, which means it's a stone, but inside there is a huge value. You need to work on it. A blank frame, which means you can paint anything. Everything is to be done. You can innovate, you can be flexible, you can create new things. And at least for me, and I hope also for you, for managers, for executives in the world of football, this is so great. It's so great to be able to change things and to make new things. And finally, investment. Feed this women's football and be patient. Okay? With these 4 things, I believe lots of success. So thank you very much for your time and hope you had a good time. I don't know if there are any questions.
So, yeah, we are coming. And we also want to ask before we pass the microphone to our audience. I have one question, actually.
Okay.
Are there any stereotypes in Spain about women's role and place in football?
You mean women in football, so
Yeah,
working in
women
the
in
industry?
football.
Of course, there is a lack of women working in football, and we believe, and from my experience, I've been surrounded by women all my life, so I love to work with women, and I think the message is we need more women in there. But things are changing. For example, now, as I mentioned, the first division, there will be a professional league, and the professional league will be led by a woman. So there will be the first ever president. She is a woman. So I think it's about breaking those barriers, having the right environment. Us men have a responsibility also, but women do also have a responsibility on daring to jump in, say, I want to be there. So I think it's very important, and with such activities like Visa, education program, we are trying to break these barriers.
Any questions?
I have one. Hey, thank you. Very good talk, very enriching. My question is actually, could you please provide a profile of the target market of the women football? Actually, what is the fan? How would you describe the profile? Maybe the demographics. Is it the same fan as the men's football follower? So what is the profile in general? And how do you, if it's the same or different, how do you compete? You know, in terms of the target markets as well.
Okay, thanks. So the first point is, in terms of TV broadcasting figures, what we saw is almost the same. So there are more men interested in football than women. So there is like almost a little bit more of women interested now in women's football. So 70-30 approximately. So the figures are quite new, near to men's football. But an interesting point is, and at least this is what I think, women's football is a great tool in order to have more girls and more women interested in football globally. So if my daughter starts playing football with 6 years old, she will like to play football. And if she likes to play football, it's more easy than she likes to watch football. So my colleagues of Osasuna yesterday shared some figures, and hopefully they will share it. Of the new season ticket holders, 40% are women. Does this mean that if you have a women's team, you will have more women? I don't know if always, but it helps, of course. If the number of licenses is increasing and more girls are playing football, the more girls are playing football, the more girls will love the game. And if they love the game, they will go to the stadiums with the family. What we saw is that there are more families going to the stadiums in women's football than on men's football. Why? I think the environment is different. It's a great experience. The values that are shared by the players are different. And I think really women's football is a great tool that within the next years, if we work properly, men's football can also benefit a lot from it.
Any other questions?
Yes, the second row, and we have. Yep.
It's not working. Yeah. No.
Once more, yeah. Hello, thank you very much. Yes, and I want to ask, is women's football is about the football result? Yes, because now is the difference in results is very big. Yes, and maybe you know when Latvia national women team lost 20-0 to English national team. And what do you think? Can this difference is this difference can be closer, or it will stay the same? It's about. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, of course, competitiveness helps to increase the attractiveness of the product. I think such results are not so important, really. I mean, it's not about what these results should make, is to make you aware that maybe you need to change things. It's not about winning. I mean, in Spain, we have Barcelona that has won the league and did not lose any match. And we have Real Madrid, we have Atletico Madrid. I mean, we have strong teams, but it's part of it. The point is, our role is to strengthen the rest of the teams, because we cannot avoid Barcelona to keep on investing, because it's helping the growth of the game. It's helping also the growth of the league. The point is, I think it will come from a natural basis. The teams, the clubs are competitive by itself. The DNA is they want to be better and be better. So the point is, let's create the right environment. Let's provide the clubs with the right tools, with the right resources, in order that they can make a good management on that. Yesterday, I was talking to some colleagues I don't remember. In Spain, we have LaLiga clubs and independent clubs. We have 3 independent clubs. You might think that it's so tough for them to compete in first division. I've heard that for 5 or 6 years, they were always complaining. It's impossible for me to compete against La Liga clubs, all these things. And I'm always talking, it's not about that, it's about how you manage your project. Tenerife, which is one of the independent clubs, has been fighting for Champions League. The 2 teams that are relegated to second division are 2 La Liga clubs, not 2 independent clubs. So it's not always about money. It's not, thank God, the football is not only about money. It's about good management, and it's about good roles. So in this case, in the Latvian national team, of course, the thing is, let's start working with our girls, let's provide them the right resources, let's work with the clubs, let's work with Virsliga, with the federation, in order to grow. And let's see the same match within 10 years. It won't be 20-0, I can tell you.
We have
One more question.
One more question, second row.
Yeah, thank you, Pedro, for the presentation once again. And I was about to ask, as in Latvia, we don't have unlimited financial resources. What would be your suggestion on how to invest money in terms of women's football in the current conditions, in the current situation? Is it more we should invest money in branding, marketing, communications, and position the women's football to attract more participants, or either we should invest like in grassroots or in professional coaches to create the playing opportunities and so on?
Thank you, good question. 3 points on that. First of all, first sit down and develop a strategy, and then let's think about the investment. I mean, first of all, is like to analyze the situation, focus on the point. So, secondly, search for help. The point is, you need to get the government involved. You need to get the sponsors involved. And it's not about, it's about making them fall in love with your strategy, with your point. And I'm going to tell you one thing. In Spain, we have Iberdrola, it's a big energy company who is the sponsor of the league. We got Iberdrola to jump in as a sponsor back in 2016. In 2016, Iberdrola did not invest in a valuable product. Women's football in 2016 had this value, 0. It was nothing. It was a dream. It was a project that some crazy people like me and the clubs and Javier Tebas, we sat down and said, we need to build something. And we sit down with Iberdrola and we share the passion and we share our vision. And we said, do you want to help us? Of course I need financial investment. And Iberdrola said, I go with you. So he was not a sponsor. They were a partner. You can do the same here. I mean, you need to sit down together first, analyze the situation, develop a proper strategy, and then it's about how you convince the people to be with you. We have no value. We had no value in Spain in 2015. Now you can say we have no value in Latvian women's football. It's okay. It's up to you if you want to really build something that is valuable. And then sit down with the right people and make them dream. It's like investors. Investors invest in something that has a potential. Because if not, it would be very easy to win money. It's about that. I mean, you have the potential. The point is, do you believe in me? Just let's go to this path. I need your help. I need your money. Come with me. And the brands are looking. Women's football is a great opportunity to invest for the brands because it's sharing the values, it's helping women, helping girls. And I'm telling you, it's so much easier if you find the right partners.
Some more questions? Oh, yes, 3 more.
Yeah, we have more questions there.
You are missing the coffee, with so many questions. For me, it's okay. I love to be here.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation, and sorry for my voice. My question is about media coverage. Obviously, for the men's game, after the match, you have podcasts, analysis, pundits talking about it, all that stuff. Is there something like this, like extra content for women's football also in Spain for La Liga? And do you think it adds even more value to the game?
It's step by step, I would say. I mean, the first point is to have something valuable that you can share with the media. The media are interested. The first thing, I mean, everything is around the fans, as consumers. If we are interested in this, the media will be interested in talking about women's football because we are interested in someone talking on women's football. Apart from this, in Spain, what is happening is it's coming on a natural basis. It's growing. There are lots of new journalists jumping in and talking. So I think it will arise naturally. So it's about, first of all, once again, step by step. The first step is start working on creating a product. And then everything will come.
I have one more question. What is the main reason, in your opinion, why people so massively, so in large amounts, started to attend women's football games?
I can say in Spain, mainly.
Because they look beautiful, I think. It's nice to watch.
No.
Women playing.
My point is, many people would criticize or say, yeah, it's for free and whatever. I don't think that the people spend 3 hours of their lives just going to a stadium just because it's free. It's something because there is something that they get from this experience. And I think, first of all, good promotion of the game. Secondly, it's a trend. I mean, we reach that the experience is good, that the people want to be there, they don't want to miss those matches. In Barcelona, it was like crazy for the tickets because everyone, the club did so good in saying, we need to fill the stadium. And the people were proud of the club, they were supporting, they were adding. I think it's many points together that are adding. The game is increasing, the quality of the game is increasing. Barcelona is amazing when you see them play. So I think it's about experience, family, the values that are shared by the players, that they are fighting so much for the dream. I think it's many things together.
We have a lot to learn, actually. Yeah.
And hopefully see that in Latvia too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for amazing presentation. Thank you, Mr. Sanchis.
We can watch it? We can watch the video.
Yes,
Yeah,
great.
we have opportunity.
¿Cuántas horas has pasado aquí? Tu sueño siempre es el mismo. Ser una referente. Servir de ejemplo. Ten paciencia.
¿Cuántas veces has pasado por este estadio? Piensa que tú nunca vas a vivir de esto. que tu oferta nunca valdrá la pena. Arriesga, hazme caso.
Ahí está encarando a Guti, el centro de Maripaz, Vilas busca el hombre.
Thank you to the technical team. There was a question?
Yeah, one more question. Final one.
Hello. I'm a father of a daughter. What are you telling to Spanish fathers with daughters? Why should they bring her daughter to football? Except that they can experience the big football atmosphere.
I'm also father of a daughter.
Congratulations.
Same.
We have the same problems.
We will have the same problems.
Enjoy too.
Look, as mentioned, I've been in women's football since 1998. When I started in women's football, society was different. Everything was different. I remember I was a coach of a young boys team, and I had one little girl playing in the team. And when we visited the facilities, the people were looking at us as we had a crocodile. I mean, oh, they have a girl, like saying, what is this? We fight I fight it with my boys in order to include her. The point is, I know, and things are changing in Spain, and this is why women's football and the work we should do has such a responsibility. First of all, the fathers might be, or in Spain, they were like looking at women's football as a terrible place. The coaches were not good. There were some problems on the sexuality of the players. The facilities were not good. The players were not athletes. They were fat. So there were some points surrounding women's football that many fathers said, I mean, this is not the place to be for my daughter. I prefer her to play tennis or to play another point. But I think the work that we've done, the work that the clubs have done in order to professionalize the whole environment, now, I mean, you see the games on TV, and you see good facilities. You see that they are traveling properly. You see that the coaches are good. You see that they are caring for the academies, clubs like you are focusing on them, are treating them equally, are providing a good resources to the players. This is a work that needs to be done throughout the years and will change. And what we are experiencing in Spain is that now the parents are looking at women's football as a good place to be for their daughters. Why? Because the whole environment has changed. It's not only because there might be a potential of professional development, which is not the main reason, but the values and now the environment, the facilities, the resources are so much better. So the thing is, my daughter doesn't like to play football. But now, I'm sure that if she would told me, I want to play football, I'm so okay if she plays in my hometown in Valencia or in Madrid, whatever, because there are clubs that are really investing in treating and giving the best resources to the players. And let's never forget that sport is part of the education of the children. So what I expect from a club is good facilities, that they put love, they put good resources, and it's about respect. It's about it. And I think in Spain, at least, things have changed. And now the people are looking at women's football, grassroots and everything, with respect and the place to be.
Thank you.
It's about all environment, right?
Huh?
It's about environment.
Environment, right? And respect, and yeah. That's
Thank
about
you,
it.
Mr. Sanchis.